and looking at me and seeing a gentleman who wants to introduce you after, okay, the minutes pass or the second passed. So now and today, I want to introduce you to something that you can, if you're part of our community or not, impact your community with, impact your surrounding with, impact your economy with, and impact your family with. Now, for our team who've heard me talk about this, and specifically our Chief Marketing Officer, Julia, she said, if I hear the word community again, I'm gonna commit suicide. So today, we need to start with community, community, community. What we're talking about over here, guys, is regional hubs. Is you as our regional ambassador, and is you a Blocksquare ambassador towards developing a regional hub. We will cover why, what is it about. Dennis will tell us more of the benefits for you, as well as for us, as well as for the whole community and ecosystem. On another block chat with Makram Hani and Denis Petrovcic. Dennis, how are you today?
I'm excited because we're finally going live with something that we've been preparing for, I would say, for most of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much effort did go into that? Too much. So Dennis, what is it all about? Why has it had this much preparation? Who's involved in it? Because there's new members of the team who have been brought forward for it. And again, what is it all about? Please.
So, for those of our community who've been following what we're doing since the very beginning, some of them might remember we ran this ambassador program back in the days in 2017 18 to bootstrap our Telegram community. And one of the things that happened during that time is some of the most active people in our community joined at that time. And and this is something that we've drawn from our past, and now we're reshaping into something that we believe will drive our DAO in the future. We people heard us talk, Makram, about the core team growing and then the community growing. But what happens with a lot of DAOs, a lot of organizations, is you have a core team that's trying to push things forward and pushing things forward successfully, more or less successfully. And then you have a community that is trying to help, but a lot of times is not incentivized additionally to do it. They have their own maybe stake in the DAO. They have their own presence, but obviously they are also consumed by the day-to-day of their regular life. So they can't really commit, a certain amount of time into helping the whole project grow. And what we're doing is we're trying to bring those who have the expertise, who have the knowledge, who have the ability to grow communities in their regions by putting a pot, an incentive that will be distributed towards these activities throughout the next year. And here we're talking about a pot worth 1 million BST. How this is being distributed to regional hubs is all detailed on the documentation side on docs.oceanpoint.fi. All the rules are there, and people can start approaching this by simply applying as a regional ambassador. That's the starting point. And that's where we want to get people from the growing community that we have to kind of activate themselves, to become more present and to grow a community in the places where they live.
Cool. So let me ask you, if you don't mind, questions that you would answer, please, with one sentence max. Who should think of becoming an ambassador?
I would say anyone with the skills to either organize an event, a simple meetup, the skill to present a complex topic in a simple way. I would say anyone that aspires to learn about real estate tokenization, or at the same time to teach about real estate tokenization. And obviously, anyone who sees the potential that real estate tokenization can have in their market and wants to be part of that transaction.
So can we say every real world asset believer or tokenization believer, and every real estate pioneer and every real estate enthusiast should also be part of that move, can be ambassadors? Because an ambassador does not have to chair a region. His contribution can be as small or as big. It's at the end of the day, not only an individual's work, it's a teamwork. Yeah. So what's post ambassador? So let's start from here. Anyone can become an ambassador. How long, Dennis, would it take them to subscribe and become an ambassador? How long would it take them to go through the process?
So we've crafted a very easy process that still obviously requires some due diligence on our end and a bit of effort on the applier side. Basically, they go to oceanpoint.fi. There they will find a link from the first page to apply as an ambassador, and the step-by-step guide will guide them through. Essentially, there's 4 key steps that they need to take. One is fill out the form, sharing a bit of information about who they are and why they are applying. Second step is a self-evaluation quiz. It's 10 questions that are kind of a way for the applicants to understand how much of Blocksquare they actually understand. And we really encourage anyone applying to really, use the resources that we give out to the community. So you have the documentation either on Blocksquare or on Ocean Point, where you can find that information, or you have the videos that we do regularly, the block chats, and so forth. And then we have the fourth step, which is basically applying, or the third step, I'm sorry. The third step is creating an account. It's just a simple account on Ocean Point marketplace, where they can connect a wallet, and that wallet will be used then to potentially receive rewards from activities of the regional hub. And last but not least is signing a referral agreement, which is an direct economic incentive for the individual to collaborate with Blocksquare. And that's
So
it.
let me tell you here. Go ahead, please.
Yeah.
3 and 3. Okay. 3 things you need to know now. You need not to be, or you don't have to be, a specialist in tokenization with so much knowledge about it to come and apply. We will help you acquire that knowledge. So it's just, if you want to enjoy learning more about tokenization, that's a journey you want to start, and that's an approach you want to do, and then you evolve from there. The second thing is, if you come in, it's not a long process. It would not take so much of your time or so much of your effort until you get there. 3, your efforts are rewarded in multiple ways. The other 3, you have individual based and activity based rewards. You have the ability to work with a team of like minded individuals from a certain region. 4, it may become, again, it would start probably as a side business, as an ambassador, a side activity, and then you may be having a regional hub, and then it may become a full-fledged business for you and collaborative partners of yours. The route forward is huge, and those are the 3 you need to understand. It's pretty easy, does not have to have specialists. You benefit from it, and the outcome is beneficial on the short, medium, and long term. And this is what you need to keep in mind. So today you have that opportunity. Dennis, let's proceed from here and say, so somebody came in today, heard us, saw one of our articles or one of our publications, and wanted to subscribe and become an ambassador. After becoming an ambassador, so he self-evaluated, he knows enough about it, we've looked at his profile, he checked our agreement, he liked the benefits that he would get, and he subscribed to that. What would he be required to do as actions? This is question one. And after you answer it, I will ask you the follow-up questions to it. What would he be required to do as actions? And how intensive or how simple and non-intensive should the actions be?
I believe after applying as an ambassador and after kind of completing those steps, um, personally, I would look at where am I good at the moment and start from there. Like each individual has certain things where they feel more comfortable or they feel that they excel more at, and take that route. That might be just simply writing content to drive an initial community for in their language maybe, or it might be creating video content, or maybe organizing a meetup and getting people over coffee to discuss a topic that apparently is interesting for those who applied. That might be just 5 people initially that come to the meetup. It doesn't need to be big, right? And the whole
It does
idea
not have to
is
be a summit. It can be a meetup or a seminar or a webinar. It can be a
exactly.
meeting with 5, 6 people. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of it. You don't need to think too big initially, and be scared of a potential, um, not being potentially not being successful, because just
And
organizing
sustainable.
something. Exactly. Just organizing something, an event where people gather for pizza and talk about, real world assets, crypto and tokenization, it's already a step forward, and it's already a winning step. And you will see that by doing this first step, then comes the second one, and so forth. And this in time might end up into a regular thing where a certain amount of ambassadors join forces to with their mini communities to start forming a so-called regional hub
So here I
where
want to point
yeah.
out something. Are all of those activities that you may do, from writing a piece of content to being on social media to create a meetup or anything like that, are they rewarded?
um, as a ambassador, you get this referral agreement, and how you are rewarded is defined in that agreement. So there's certain things that are rewarded, like finding somebody who wants to operate the marketplace. That's something, or finding somebody who wants to tokenize real estate. That's also something, or just finding somebody who's interested in BST. So um, these terms, as long as you're an ambassador, that's the compensation model is there. However,
So you're
there's a bigger incentive, Makram, when a regional hub is formed. That moment, you become a collective of 5 ambassadors. And as soon as there's 3 collectives, and by the way, we've already started receiving pre-applications for regional ambassadors. Um, as soon as there's 3 regional hubs, the 1 million that we've of BST that we mentioned, that part starts unlocking. And how it unlocks is that for each active regional hub, every quarter there's going to be 20,000 BST allocated to the pot, and these hubs compete between each other to get a portion of that 60,000 in this case, right? If there's 5 regional hubs, that means 100,000 per month. If there's 10 regional hubs, the number is 200,000, right? And so forth. And this is how we plan on managing the allocation, by creating these active teams that collaborate to bring more and more valuable events to life.
How many times have you and your friends sat along and said, you know what, I would love it if, or we would love it if some company or someone comes in and invests in activity that we do, comes and gives us the tools to be able to grow activity, and then it develops into becoming a business. Now, remember, all of those small activities an ambassador can do are cumulative and lead to benefit generating activities. At the same time, when you get an allocation as a regional hub, you are able to spend from the allocation, regardless of your success in the activity and the results from it. That's something else that has different KPIs and different benefits from it. The success that you are able to generate from the tools you are given because of the right activity you're taking forward, and because you are an active, well well positioned regional hub, is helping you to generate more. So, am I right in saying here that we are allowing an opportunity to every member of the community to benefit not only by being part of the community, by being part of the DAO, but also by having the ability to take the product of the entity he believes in and the technology he believes in into his regional market, into a locality, and then directly benefit from that?
Yeah, basically that's very well said. Yeah. So
Okay.
I think it's a lot of times people who join our community, right? They they feel that they could contribute to what the core team is doing and doing every day to make things, to make us all grow faster. However, they don't have the capacity in terms of time and effort to do it, um, in a full commitment. And here they can do this as a side gig, um, to complement their activities, from the business they do regularly. So I see this as something that can grow quite quickly into a very, very powerful engine, to drive the adoption of the products that our DAO is producing, right? We
And here,
have,
because it's
yeah,
a structured activity with a team involved. So regularly, a relationship with a team is both helpful and challenging for the team itself. Yet, when we have structured it for you, we've given you the structure, we've given you a skeleton, we've given you the support, and you have a team backing you. So, I'll give you an example. Let's say you have somebody to introduce to tokenizes real estate. You do not need to carry on all the presentations end and end alone. You have a team behind you that may help you. So, imagine that you have a franchise. Again, think of it that way. Imagine you have a franchise and there's an entity behind you that's fully supporting you. So let's say you have a party that's interested to understand more about operating a marketplace. You create that activity, and then all of a sudden you have a whole team supporting your drive, and you will be benefiting from that activity. So what better would you need? You introduce parties and you get benefit because of those introductions that you have put together and you have put in place. Dennis, as a regional hub, how many ambassadors should it have, and what are the main activities they should do?
so, to form a regional hub, 5 ambassadors need to join forces.
Do they need to know each other?
No, they can get to know each other through the channels that are open for regional ambassadors, right? And those channels and the participants there are going to grow and grow, and more people, we hope, from the community will activate by becoming ambassadors and trying to join more with more or less capacity. And why 5 people? I mean, you know, that seems like to be a quite big number, but in effect, it's not. Especially, and it's the right size, I would say, to start organizing a first set of events. That might be online events. It might be even offline events. If the 5 regional chairs, let's say, 3 are from a specific town, and then there's 2 people online, who can help run promotions for that event, and then on ground maybe those 3 people are more active, right?
So
The
shall they
reason
think
for
of themselves as a regional hub, as an organization?
Yes, they can think of themselves as an independent organization that has an earnings incentive from Blocksquare DAO. So the idea is that people see this as a Kickstarter of sorts for becoming an event organizing organization, if you will,
Can I
right?
ask you a question here, Dennis? So can a
Yeah.
regional hub come one day and say, you know what, we have earned enough BST now, and we have developed enough business, and we are staking this BST, for example. So we want to start our own marketplace today. We want to run as a partner. Is that something that's possible?
Definitely. I mean, this might be also one of the reasons for somebody to start a regional hub,
So in other
or a
words, can five people who are in real estate in a certain market come together and say, you know what, with days our business is cyclical, it's ups and downs. How about if we join hands? We're small companies, or we're individuals. And if it is entrepreneurs and small companies and brokerages or individuals want to come together, create a regional hub, become ambassadors, subscribe to the future of real estate, and then develop a platform, and the technology is available in the backing, and we're not even investing in it. They are investing. By they, it's Blocksquare. Is it?
in a way, yes, it could be used in this way. Why not? I mean, that's a great idea, actually. 5 people join forces, and usually what we see on the market is, yeah, we want to we want to launch a marketplace, but we first need to create a community that will be interested in this marketplace, right, using it. So they start running events. Where they invite people from different sectors, different topics that correlate to what they want to launch, and then they slowly start, executing on it. But running events is usually a hard task because you need to be financed. I mean, you need to have a financial model around it, etc. So here, Blocksquare is kind of supporting those events to be also, supported financially.
So
And you can
again,
start
here the
in small
questions,
scale. Yeah.
perfect. The questions that are one sentence answers. Do they need to have a license?
No.
Do they need to own BST?
No.
Do they need to be part of our community already?
Not necessarily.
What are the 3 ways to communicate with us today and start on this journey?
You basically just visit oceanpoint.fi and you click on apply now for becoming a Blocksquare regional ambassador. And that's going to take you through the funnel. And that's your very beginning of this journey. It's that
If you
simple.
have challenges, can you connect with us on Telegram and Discord?
Oh, definitely. I'm sure that a lot of people from our current community will be able to help. And if not, the documentation has been really thoroughly written, and it's published on our docs.
So will they be able to individually come and subscribe? They do not need to have 4 or 5 people with them
No,
and become ambassadors and then become regional hubs, and can they come along with 4 or 5 people with that plan already in, and the
yeah,
5 of them or 6 of them or 10 of them all subscribe, become ambassadors? Will that be possible?
all of these scenarios are possible. You can be
Perfect.
somebody alone applying as an ambassador, trying then to find other people that are ambassadors and kind of see that collaboration. Or you might already have the required amount, or you might be 3 people and then you find another 2 people from the community. The idea of,
Do they
of the
have a
five
chair?
the idea is that the 5 ambassadors then choose a leader. They say, okay, this person will be our regional chair. and he's going to lead our activities, which means, also has certain responsibilities. And why 5? Because in the cycle of a regional hub, things change. You might be, not able to contribute after 6 months because, I don't know, a child is born, or you change jobs, you move places. And obviously, this way, even if the regional hubs is one person down, they can now have enough time to find somebody else to join in, and they still have the resources. There's still 4 people actively contributing and working on the activities that they set forth.
So to start, they should be 5, but let's say they go down to 4. Can they still be a regional hub?
Yes, of course. Of course.
Let's say they go down to 3. Can they still be a regional hub?
They have a limited amount of time to find somebody else to join in, to fill in the role that is missing, of course.
Perfect. And let's say ambassadors we are, and we joined, and we became a regional hub, and we started working together, and one individual is not contributing enough. How is that seen? Is he seen, because this is always the idea of sustainable energy flowing within a team of people, is the very much motivated will be non-motivated or demotivated by those who are not motivated. So how does this dynamic work?
So we've divided the year into 4 quarters. Activity of regional hubs are measured throughout each quarter. And after that quarter, the regional hub needs to submit a report. That report is structured, so it's basically
it's very simple, guys. There is a format. You fill it. Yes. So it's not something that you need to create from scratch. Okay?
No. Everything is set up, right? And also for organizing events, we are using Eventbrite as a site, and the regional hub receives access to the official Blocksquare account, and they organize event from that account. They can even charge for tickets if they wanted to, if the event is of a certain size, of course, right? Anyways, to go back to your question here, you might have a situation where in one quarter, somebody from the regional hub was not able to contribute or didn't contribute enough. The report also requires to fill in each active member and how much of the total rewards received should be allocated in percentage. So let's say you have 5 people, and only 3 have contributed for that quarter. 1 has helped a bit, but not so much, and then somebody was not available at that time. So you would distribute, let's say, I don't know, equally for the 3 and the rest for the 4th person, and assign 0% to the 5th person. Doesn't mean that they are not going to contribute in the future, but maybe in that quarter their contribution was not really.
Can they become 20? There.
Yes. The regional hub.
Will the board stay 5, or can they all become contributors in decision making in the regional hub?
So every 5 people, so you have 4 people, 1 regional chair, and then once 5 people join additionally in the regional hub, another regional chair needs to be voted upon, defined, so that every time 1 leader is leading a team of 5, so themselves plus 4, right? And those teams of 5 are then constituting a larger regional hub, if you will.
Perfect. So the idea is, it's a collaborative idea, and it's actually activity that everyone who's an enthusiast of tokenization or real estate does in his regular life. So if you're currently in tokenization or real world asset tokenization in general, or real estate in general, you would be first educating yourself about new technologies, about what's happening. Second, when you chat with your friends and with your family and people and colleagues and enthusiasts in the market, you chat about that and you try to educate them and collect info from them. You try to gather with like-minded individual every now and then. You do all of this today, but you do it in an unstructured manner, non-consistent manner, and no one pays you for it. Tomorrow morning, we are helping you structure that and make it a business, so you can develop a business out of that. And when we say 20,000 BST, that's not a small number of BST. Now, to me, again, when I calculate it in my head, I calculate it based on the uh, what I see Blocksquare technology and our ecosystem in the future. But let's not talk about this over here in this session. Let's just talk about the ability of yours to fund your growth from that, knowing that that is support to you, but there's other avenues. If you're doing the right activity, you'll be incentivized by, because there's activity that is money generating activity, and that's something that's key that you need to remember. Here, Dennis, I believe we explained it without making it so difficult. We explained it, everyone understands it. Is there anything you would like to tell anyone who would like to be a regional hub today? One. Question number two, all immediately after it, is to our community, because in my opinion, those are the nucleus of all regional hubs, and they are ambassadors already. They do a tremendous job. Everyone who's part of the community always said, how solid is your community, guys? It's one person or 1,000, it doesn't matter. It's a very solid community. In the down runs, in the busts, in the booms, it's very solid because all are behind the same vision. So what would you tell anyone who wants to become a regional hub and listening to us today? And what would you tell our community members?
Um, I would say that if I can start with our community members, because that's the core, like you said. And some of them are actively being involved, actively helping on various chats, but there's many who have not activated themselves in terms of maybe helping in the chats or getting involved in the discussion, but maybe just following what is being said, right? I believe regional hubs are a place where that kind of people can excel even more. I take this from myself. I'm a passive listener to most chat groups in the world. I rarely contribute in them, express opinion, because I'm busy doing what I'm doing, and and getting involved in those discussions. Sometimes, I mean, it's not in my nature to do it, but I am a builder. I am a doer, and I like when I have something concrete to work on,
Structured.
and this and structured, and this is something that where I feel I can excel. So, for instance, getting involved in a regional hub, if you will, it's something that would be interesting to me, to be helpful, right? But obviously, because of my day-to-day work, which is running Blocksquare, I am not able to do it actively. I'm able to contribute. Maybe regional hub is wants to have some content, so we're happy to be on the webinar or to discuss something on an event or something like that, right? Now, in terms of the first question that you had, I believe we're at the tipping point where we're making it easier and easier for people to run marketplaces, which means that it's becoming more and more relevant for regions that maybe we have not even targeted yet, because we don't know how to enter them. Regional hubs is the door to those regions, those places where we don't have access, whether that's because of language barrier or because of unawareness of a certain market situation there, especially when it comes to real estate assets, or simply because the accessibility to our tech in those markets, it doesn't match maybe the pricing
Dennis,
that we have. Yeah.
that local approach makes so much sense. Let me tell you what Microsoft have done a few years ago. Actually, my organizations were subscribers to Microsoft and still are, and we use Microsoft services, web services. And one day we got a contact from a local partner of Microsoft in our country, saying that from now on, your billing will stay the same, but will start becoming local and will be from us as a partner, not directly from Microsoft. So we said stop. We refused it, and we contacted Microsoft because we said, you know what, we're used to work with Microsoft directly. And then Microsoft said, no, 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 don't worry, it's not a scam, it's not somebody trying to come in and jump in. No, no, we are redirecting the business to local partners because they know the market challenges, they're nearer to the market, they're closer to the market. So actually, this is it. Real estate is local, but we also are not local everywhere. We are a spread around team in most of the world. But to get to every locality, you need that energy that is local. That energy that goes from Costa Rica to Nicaragua to Slovenia to Germany to Australia to Japan to every single part of the world. So 100%. I want to say something here on Dennis's behalf, on my behalf. I want to thank the whole team that worked so hard for it because I believe they put so much effort. Dennis, who've put effort into this and who are the new team members who have joined us? Because we haven't mentioned that.
Yes. So, well, the effort was quite collaborative, I would say. I remember us being here in Ljubljana. I, when was it? Before summer, and we were discussing what one individual has brought. We call him John Doe. It doesn't want to be named, and it should remain that person should remain anonymous because of the day job that they do. But their expertise is definitely hard to pair to match, and yeah, this main structure or has been mainly developed by his lead, and obviously co-created with the marketing team, with the business team, with everybody involved. Um, and we hope that we have created a structure that will be growing, a structure that a process and a structure that people appreciate, that they see as valuable down the line, and that will foster a growing community. We don't need to be big in numbers, but we need to be big in effort, let's say. So yeah, so that's I would say that's that, yeah. And in terms
We
of who has joined our team recently, so I'm really happy to announce a new team member that has joined, who will be working on our content and marketing team. um, Mitch is coming from Perth, Australia. He is somebody that Julia brought into the team with her experience working with him. It's somebody who has past experience in both the real estate market as a real estate agent, and as well, most recently or in recent years, also in the crypto market. So great to have somebody on board who has that dual overview or aspect knowledge on both sides of what we are merging together.
shall we have do you have any other word to our listeners today before we close? We just skipped above the 30 minutes. We're so sorry, guys, but I'm sure that it was content rich and we couldn't cut it shorter. As you saw, we didn't cover many of the things we cover usually on a block chat. So any other words, Dennis?
Well, the regional hubs have been something that has delayed a bit in the launch. The we thought is going to go out sooner, so because we can't do multiple things at once in terms of spreading ourselves thin when it comes to launching new things, we prioritize now the launch of regional hubs because we believe that we're at the beginning of a very interesting period in time, and regional hubs is something that needs to be launched before that period starts. Obviously, this is not everything that we've been working on, and this is just one of the things that are coming up in the next months. And for those who are following the development of Ocean Point, know about VO5 and more.
any successes that have happened over the past few weeks? Any liquidity impact? Any growth in liquidity beyond a certain limit? Anything like that?
We have hit a couple of times, I believe, 1 million worth of liquidity on Uniswap. We
Okay.
have had a steady growth in transactional volume on centralized and decentralized exchanges. We have had a very interesting growth in our community members. More and more people are kind of waking up to real estate tokenization, and they find Blocksquare as one of the potential leaders in this space. And thank you everybody for joining us here on this journey and with regional hubs. Hopefully see you also active in spreading the word.
On another block chat, Denis Petrovcic, Makram, Hani, and this time for all of you and with all of you, a journey that have started a few years ago and continues, Blocksquare towards globally being local. Enjoy